Hi everyone! I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support on the last video. So many people took the time out to message me and say how much they liked it, and it was really nice. Like, loads of my family messaged, loads of friends, and even people I didn't know said they enjoyed it. So I'm gonna make more, and this is gonna be my second story. I get all of my information from watching documentaries, reading articles, or listening to podcasts. This case, as far as I know, doesn't have any conflicting information or conflicting accounts, so I do believe all of the information in this video to be true. So I first heard about this a few years ago and it just shocked me. I didn't know that people were capable of thinking this way. It baffles me, honestly. But I don't want to say too much, so let's get into it. This is Sarah Brady's story and it takes place in 2004 in Fort Mitchell in Kentucky. Sarah Brady was 26 years old. She was 9 months pregnant and 5 days overdue. She was really excited in the last few weeks of her pregnancy. She was unwrapping everything for my baby shower, getting all the last bits ready, hospital bag and things like that. She was just really looking forward to this baby arriving. Being 9 months and overdue, she was huge at this point. She was really excited for the baby to come. Sarah was registered with Babies R Us, which from what I understand is like Toys R Us but for babies. So it sells everything you could need for your baby basically. From what I understand, you can create a wish list and people can buy it for you. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like a wish list and everyone can see it, people can buy things for you, and happy days, you get what you need for your baby. Sarah got a call one day from a lady who said, "Hi, I think I've got one of your packages. My name's Sarah Brody," which I know is really similar to yours, so I'm thinking that's where the mix-up's been. Just to make this clear, her name was Sarah Brady and she was getting a call from Sarah Brody. So I'm not going to call Sarah Brody Sarah because it's just going to get so confusing. So the woman says, "I've got one of your packages here. It's from Babies R Us. I'm just letting you know so I can return it to you because it's not mine." So they chatted a bit on the phone and the woman said that she was overdue too and the hospital were actually planning to induce her. So it sounds like they were going to have their babies around the same time. So she offered to bring the package to Sarah, but Sarah was like, "You've already gone out your way to ring me and to let me know that something's there waiting for me. Like, you could have just taken it. You've already been so nice. There's no way that you're coming out," basically. And especially being pregnant, I think even though Sarah was pregnant, I think she was just a lovely lady as well and just didn't want anyone to go out the way for her. And she was just like, "No, I'll definitely come to you. You stay put. Thank you so much for telling me. I'll come and get the package." So over the phone, the woman sounded like just a really thoughtful lady who just wanted to do something nice for someone and get their parcel back to them. Sarah drove about 15 minutes to the woman's apartment and she lived in a basement apartment, so Sarah went in and she said the only thing that seemed a bit odd was that the lady locked the door behind her, but she spoke to her, she seemed really nice and kind and she got the package from her. Everything was fine. They talked about both being pregnant. They were saying that they were nervous to give birth and, to be new mums. And she also said that she looked even bigger than Sarah was, like she was really heavily pregnant. So the ladies said bye to each other. Sarah took her package home and when she opened it, there were a few items that were on her wish list and a few that she didn't really know anything about. So there was baby bottles, a teddy and just a few other random bits, so nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But the woman had said there was an air bill with that, like a receipt, so whoever had sent it, their information would be on that. She said, "I'm really sorry, my husband misplaced it, but I'll definitely get that to you so you can know who it's from." So that night, Sarah had another phone call to say another package has come for you. It's from UPS. The same thing's happened again, there's a mix-up. The woman had said over the phone that her family lived in St. Louis and her husband was always away, so she felt really sorry for her, like she was really lonely and just wanted a friend to talk to. Sarah agreed that she'd drive back tomorrow and she'd pick up the package about 9 or 10 in the morning. Her brother was like, "I don't think this is normal that this has happened twice, something's not really right. Would you like me to come with you?" She said, "No, I've already met this lady, I know she's fine, I've already been to her house, there's nothing wrong, it's not sketchy. She's just a really nice lady who's trying to do something nice for me and it keeps getting mixed up." So the next morning, Sarah drove to the woman's apartment again. She said this time there was a bit of a strange vibe and the woman was actually waiting in the doorway of the apartment blocks, which she found really odd. So they both went down the stairs and into her apartment, and the lady locked the door again behind her and Sarah. She actually said to Sarah, "I hope you don't find it weird that I'm locking the door behind you. There's just an elderly woman who lives upstairs and she's really nosy, so I like to lock the door so she can't just come in and root through me things." Sarah also noticed that the night before on the phone, the woman had said, "Oh, my husband's really excited to meet you," and her husband wasn't there. It was just her in the apartment. The woman bought out a bouncy seat that was on Sarah's wish list and she just took it. They chatted for a bit and then Sarah was like, "Oh, well, thanks so much again. I'll let you go." And this woman just kept trying to get Sarah to stay in the apartment and she didn't really know why. She said to her, "Oh, do you not want a tour of the apartment?" So Sarah was just trying to be polite and was like, "Oh, okay then." So they went into her bedroom and there was a framed photo of a magazine cut out and it was all the girls from Sex and the City, but all their faces had been scratched out. Then she saw an inhaler on the bedside table with the name Katie Smith printed on it. She was like, "Who is this lady? She's told me her name's Sarah Brady, who's Katie Smith." Then the woman said to her, "Why are you carrying your car keys around? Is that like your security blanket?" Which is really strange. Like, why would you want her to put her keys down? So once they'd been around the apartment, Sarah was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll see you soon anyway, thanks again." And the woman just, again, was wanting her to stay. This time she was saying, "Oh, well, hang on a minute, I'll look around for the air bills, like they're around here and, you know, help me look for them." So as Sarah turned to leave, the woman threw herself on the floor and started screaming, saying she was having labour pains and saying she really needed help to the bathroom. So Sarah at this point is like, "I don't know what to do. My gut is telling me to leave, but this lady is, you know, obviously in pain." So Sarah helped her into the bathroom and was saying, "You know, do you think your water's broke? We really need to find out if it has. I think you should call a doctor." And the woman just kept screaming and she had Sarah kind of backed up into a corner of the bathroom because it was apparently really small and she just had hold of her arms and was gripping them really tight. And then she looked at her with a really weird demonic face and Sarah said it was just completely different to the girl that she'd met the day before. It wasn't like she was the same person. She said her face had completely changed. She just looked really strange. So Sarah got herself out the bathroom and walked towards the front door and she was shouting through to the woman saying, "Oh, did your water break?" And the woman just came out really calmly, just dead, nothing wrong with her, and just went, "No, I don't think so." And she said to her, "You know, I haven't had a child before, but I think you'd really know if your water are broken. I think you should still call your doctor." The woman went into the bedroom and started calling the doctor, but Sarah knew that she wasn't actually on the phone to him. She was completely faking the conversation and she started getting really annoyed because she was like, "Why is this person doing this who throws himself on the floor and screams and then is fine?" So the woman comes out and Sarah goes, "Okay, I've really got to go now. If you're fine, I really need to leave." And she goes, "Okay, I've just got one thing to give you." I get annoyed with how many times she asks her to stay. She brings back coupons for her, so Sarah's like, "Thank you so much, but I really do have to go. Thanks for the coupons, thanks for everything." On the back of one of the coupons as well, it says especially for Katie Smith. So she's like, "Right, I'm gonna go. Anyway, thank you." So the woman goes, "You've been really nice, can I give you a hug?" And she's leaning in, trying to hug her. Sarah's kind of backing away, feeling like this is too far now, no. The woman starts squeezing her tighter and tighter, goes into her jacket pocket and pulls out a hunting knife. The woman had it raised in the air and Sarah, in about 3 seconds of thinking, just knocks it right out of her hand. The woman is completely different to what she was at first. She starts swearing at her, she's telling her she's not going anywhere. There's a big struggle and Sarah was leaning against a seat and the woman just completely knocked her right off it. Sarah landed on her front and the woman got on top of her and started hitting her in the head with an ashtray or, you know, a glass dish of some sort. And she said she was lying on the ground like, "This is how I die. I'm gonna just lie here and die and no one will know that I was ever here." Sarah just thought, "No, that's not happening today," and threw the woman off her back. So Sarah got on top of the woman then and then started hitting her with the glass thing, and there was a moment when the woman wasn't fighting back as much, so she was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm hitting a pregnant lady, like I need to stop." And she got off the woman and ran for the door. She managed to get herself out the apartment and up the stairs, and as she got to the screen door she couldn't get it to open, and then she said suddenly she felt the woman's breath on the back of her neck. She was grabbed by the hair and turned round and kind of pressed against the door, and she wasn't able to get the handle to even kind of try and open it anymore. Sarah's screaming, saying, "God help me, someone please help me," but the woman's just like, "No one can hear you, you're not getting out." She grabbed Sarah's head and started smacking it against the door. Sarah's still kicking and screaming at this point and trying to get someone to hear her, but the woman just grabs her and drags her right back into the apartment. And Sarah said again she was 9 months pregnant, she was huge, she was heavy, and the other woman was 9 months pregnant. She doesn't know where she got the strength from. At this point, something in Sarah massively switched. She knew that she was in a fight for her life with this woman, and she needed to save her life and the baby's as well. The woman started punching Sarah in the side of the head, and Sarah started punching back. So Sarah just wanted to hit the woman as hard as she could so she'd be able to just get up and make a run for the door, but when she did leave the woman alone, the woman just sprung back up like she wasn't really affected, and Sarah wasn't able to get away. The woman then started walking up to Sarah and just brushed her hair away from her face. She then said to her, "You're not going anywhere, I'm not going to hurt you, but we need to clean the apartment before my husband gets back." Sarah's trying to beg and plead with her to let her go, to stop, and also saying, you know, we both need to go to the hospital to check on our babies. Like, we need to leave this place. Like, please, just stop it. The woman then pulled out the knife, and Sarah just looked at her and just said, "Katie, please." And at that moment, the woman just snapped. Katie just starts charging at Sarah with the knife. Sarah was able to grab the blade and just hold onto it as tightly as she could. She was able to twist it round until she had hold of it. She just started like swishing it in front of her to try and make it Katie stay back and just stay away from her, so hopefully again she could run for the door. Even though Sarah's slashing the knife in front of her, Katie just keeps coming closer and closer, and she won't back off. So Sarah knows that she's got to go further, and she stabs her in the shoulder. Katie falls back onto a chair, and Sarah said that she could see all the blood start seeping through her top. So finally Sarah's able to run for the door, and she looks at her hands, they're all slashed a bit. She's covered in blood. She gets out the screen door, she goes into the road, she's able to flag down a random van, and then she just blacks out and collapses. So I'm assuming the van called the police or someone around, but the police come and they find Sarah at the side of the road, passed out, covered in blood. They go down into the apartment and they find Katie, who has passed away. Sarah had stabbed Katie 3 times, and one of them had gone into her main artery, so she'd bled to death. So the police are holding Sarah at first because for all they know she's just gone into an apartment and killed another pregnant lady. They keep saying to her, "You've murdered this friend of yours," and Sarah's just like, "No, I don't know this woman, we're not friends, I don't know her," and tries to explain the situation. Then they say to her, "Why did you think Katie was pregnant?" And Sarah says, "Because she was, I saw her, she was massive." And they say no, she was either stuffing a shirt or wearing something, that woman wasn't pregnant. They'd searched the apartment and yeah, Katie had never been pregnant. She'd been wearing a false pregnancy stomach, and never in her life had Katie been pregnant. Katie was 22 and she had, as the police described, a fully stocked nursery. In the nursery was everything you'd need: toys, baby clothes, formula, a changing table and a cot, just everything. In another room they found loads of books and romance novels about pregnant women, and in a changing bag they found medical equipment that's usually used for delivering babies. It contained gloves, medical scissors, other cutting instruments and a homemade umbilical clamp. Katie had been a nanny and she'd been stealing baby scans to pass off as her own from some of the families that she worked for. She had baby showers, she told all of her family and friends that she was pregnant. She'd had like a really big fascination for babies and having babies and pregnancy all her life. She'd faked up to 11 pregnancies and her first one was said to be in the 8th grade. She'd faked stillborn deliveries and she'd even collected money for her baby's funerals. Sarah hadn't been the only target of Katie Smith. She'd searched on the website for expectant mums to try and find one that matched with her pretend due date so she could get a baby. They found other ladies' information from the Babies R Us site, but their due dates were either too soon or too late to match up with Katie's false pregnancy. She planned to get someone in the apartment and deliver the baby herself by C-section to pass off as her own, and I'm assuming kill the mum. Sarah unfortunately had a 6-hour lie detector test that she had to take because of allegations made against her. These allegations were from people who knew Katie. The allegation was that Sarah and Katie had planned this together, and that Sarah had said to Katie, "I will sell my baby to you for $5,000. And the time was coming up. Sarah didn't want to give the money back, so she decided to kill Katie. All of that was investigated along with other allegations that were probably just as crazy. Sarah was absolved of all charges, and Katie's death was marked as an act of self-defense, so she didn't get any punishment whatsoever for it, and rightly so. So Sarah gave birth to a lovely healthy baby girl called Michaela Grace, and she actually wrote a book about the story called Saving Grace. So Sarah went on to be on Oprah, and she told her story on I Survived as well. Sarah just said that she felt really sorry for Katie. Sometimes she's angry, but mostly she feels sorry for her and she wishes she hadn't been so sick. She really struggled to accept that someone had died due to her, but she knows that when she looks at her daughter, it reminds her why she did it, and she had to. She had no other choice. It's a really scary thing to happen. She always thinks, what if she never got out and no one knew where her and the baby had gone. I think she did absolutely everything she could. She gave more than enough chances. She was so lovely and polite, and I think that Katie just really took advantage of that. It really is a shame that that happened. So that's the story. It's a bit of a crazy one, but I'm so glad that Sarah and her baby are alright. Obviously Katie was really sick. It makes me really sad that she wanted to take someone's life, and baby, I can't imagine thinking like that, but I do wish that she'd have got some help and maybe none of this would have happened. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed researching this one. I found it really interesting, and I hope you do too. Please like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I have a new video up. At the minute I'm trying to upload a new video every week, and I'm really trying to stick to that. I'm going to try really hard. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!